So let's talk about stomach first. So what is stomach? Everyone knows, and that mixes and crushing the food into, and then some digestion happens. So here's the location of stomach. So you can see from this mouth through the esophagus at the end, there's a stomach here. And what's interesting with the stomach is a stomach is kind of an expandable vessel that can hold about 1 liter of volume. And there comes mechanical mixing, crushing, and chemical digestion to convert solid food into small parts. For that, stomach has to be covered with muscles. So let me show you the anatomy of the stomach, esophagus. There exists a lower esophageal sphincter, which blocks the reflux from the stomach. And stomach inside is a very much folded shape, which is called the rugae. And from stomach to duodenum, there's a pyloric sphincter. And these stomach layer has a lot of muscle. So this muscular contraction is providing mechanical force to aid in breaking down of solid food. And at the same time, stomach secretes a lot of gastric fluids, which is highly acidic, and to keep the pH very low. You know how low the pH is inside the stomach acid? It's actually even 1. You can remember our body's normal physiological pH, which is minus low, the concentration of hydrogen ion, which is proton, and that is usually 7.4, which is a logarithmic scale, so 7 versus 1. So there's a difference of 6 in log scale, which means 1,000,000 times higher concentration of this acidic in stomach. And the reason is a lot of bacteria coming through our mouth, and those will not survive in this acidic condition. So that's one role of this acid is protect ourselves from bacterial infection. But think of it, this is highly acidic. How can we protect our stomach itself, which is also composed of proteins? And so, we have our own strategy. The lining of stomach includes a layer which protects stomach itself from this acidic gastric fluid. And that's we call a mucus layer. Okay, so, and inside the stomach, there's also digestive enzyme, which, chopped protein. And think about stomach is also composed of protein. So how come stomach these enzymes, which is secreted by stomach, does not digest the stomach itself? So we have developed a very interesting strategy that, hey, initiation of protein digestion, we secrete not the fully functional enzyme, but the precursor enzyme called pepsinogen. So ogen means it's kind of a precursor. So when the pepsinogen entered into the stomach with this acidic environment, it converts into fully functional enzyme called pepsin. Okay. So which can decompose a peptone into amino acid. So now think about pancreas. So we heard about a lot about pancreas, especially pancreatic cancer is very, very deadly cancer because a patient can live only less than 1.5 years after it's diagnosed. The reason it's very inside, it's hard to know the symptom at an early stage. And the pancreas has an important function in the digestion, and that's endocrine and exocrine secretion. So endocrine secretion is the secretion into our bloodstream. So secretion of what? You all know that pancreas secretes an insulin. So let's see how pancreas looks like. So it's right attached on the back of the stomach, and it's connected to our gastrointestinal tract into the duodenum with this hole. So this is how pancreas looks like. And there exists a main duct inside. So the main pancreatic duct And there's a duct cells, and here is a gland cells, which secretes exocrine portion of pancreatic enzyme, which is a digestive enzyme. And at the same time, you can see there's a other portion of pancreas, which is endocrine portion, which secretes pancreatic hormones into bloodstream. So that is called islets of Langerhans. And pancreas shape, this is called head and this is called tail. So exocrine function is producing digestive enzymes into the duodenum. And again, these enzymes are also digestive enzymes. How we prevent this enzyme to digest the pancreatic tissue itself is because we produce this enzyme secreting in an inactive form, so not activated yet, but that has to be activated or converted on active enzyme at the site of action, such as here, the duodenum, they secrete enzyme exokinase, which activate these enzyme. So these kind of precursor enzyme in general we call zymogen. And you know, this zymo comes from enzyme, and zyme means from fermentation or fermenting substance, because fermentation requires probably enzyme.